Rebecca Cheptighei was more than just a name in the world of athletes. She was a beacon of hope and determination. As a marathon runner from Uganda, her journey led her to the grand stage of the Olympics in Paris last month. Her dream was to showcase her talents and bring glory to her country. She finished 44th in the marathon, a commendable achievement for the first Olympic appearance. Yet her story, meant to inspire many, was brutally cut short just weeks later. In a horrifying act of violence, her life ended on a tragic Sunday in Kenya, where she resided. Following a heated argument with her boyfriend over a house that she owned, the situation escalated to a nightmare outcome. According to the news, it was said that her boyfriend poured her petrol and set her ablaze. Despite desperate attempts to escape and the help of her daughter, she sustained a severe burn on her skin with 80% of her body engulfed in flames. She was later taken to the hospital for treatment. However, 4 days later, she succumbed to her injuries. This tragedy is not just about the loss of a talented athlete, it also serves as a chilling reminder of the pervasive issues of domestic abuse or domestic violence. Rebecca's case is the latest in a disturbing trend involving female athletes in Kenya. In 2021, record-breaking runner Agnes Tirop was murdered by her husband, and in 2022, Kenyan-born athlete Damaris Muchwa was found dead under similar circumstances. These incidents highlight the deep-seated issues of gender inequality and financial control that often result in violence. In many cases, the success of female athletes become a source of tension, as their achievements and financial independence can provoke violence from their partners. Rebecca's ordeal reportedly stemmed from disputes over the prize money and the property ownership, reflecting broader societal problems where the accomplishments of women are met with resentment or attempt at control. Her tragic end underscores the urgent need for society to address and combat gender-based violence. No amount of athletic prowess or international acclaim can shield women from the shadows of violence behind closed doors. Her story must serve as a catalyst for change, pushing us to work toward a world where such acts of violence are no longer a part of anyone's story. In the same way that she passed away, her partner also sustained injuries which ended his life afterwards. This stirred mixed reaction among the people. Some view her boyfriend's demise, having succumbed to injuries sustained during the attack, as a form of grim justice, believing that the legal system might have otherwise failed to hold him accountable. Others see it as a mixed opportunity for proper legal action and accountability. Regardless of opinions on his faith, the focus must remain on preventing such violence and supporting survivors. Rebecca Cheptighei's legacy should have been defined by her athletic achievements, her courage, and her relentless pursuit of excellence. Instead, she will also be remembered for the brutal manner in which her life was taken. Her story is a stark reminder that behind the glitter of medals and the cheers of crowds, women continue to face significant threats of violence. It's essential to educate ourselves and others about the signs of domestic violence, advocate for stronger protections for women, and create a society where every individual, regardless of their accomplishments, can live free from fear. Rebecca's life was a testament to human strength and endurance, and her tragic end must galvanize us to work toward a world where such violence no longer mars any story.
This was quite shocking. No one expected this to happen. Some people will probably say that's justice, but for others, I think they wanted the hands of the law to be the ones to serve this justice.
The former boyfriend of Olympic runner Rebecca Cheptighei has died after allegedly setting her on fire and injuring himself in the process. Dixon Ndima was named as her attacker in local media after the mum of two was set ablaze with petrol and died days later from organ failure. Ndima sustained burns across 30% of his body in the reported ambush and has now died in hospital.
What we have been able to gather is that I think it was a weekend, and Rebecca Cheptighei, the former Olympian, I think she was coming back from church with her family, and then her ex-boyfriend, Damien, who is also now the late. We got information that, there was a bit of a confrontation, and then I think he knew what he wanted to do. He had carried with him a small jerrycan of acid, which he then poured on her, and then she was quickly rushed to hospital. Even before this incident, of course, there were reports that there were confrontations between the two, obviously because of her prize money that she won from the Olympics, and maybe previous, monies that she'd gotten. So for many Ugandans, this was a shock. No one expected this to happen. And remember, this was the first case that, for example, in Uganda, we're having of an elite athlete being attacked by an ex-partner. I think the potential motive was, I think there had been skirmishes between the two, mainly because from the arguments that I had, many of these athletic women, they go out there, use their talent to earn money, and when they come back with money, these boyfriends who are basically doing nothing, or some of them who pretend to be either coaches or they are trainers, all their eyes are always on this prize money. So when the lady comes back with the money, the first thing is, I need that money. And when they get the money, they don't even use it for anything good. Most of the time, it's always abused, because for them, if she's run today and won prize money, she's definitely going to run tomorrow and win more prize money. So it just keeps coming. So for them, it's the prize money is where the problem stems from. These women, come back with all these, ideas, and some of them have actually done it. They've come up, set up for themselves good homes, bought property. And for these men, this is a bit envious. In an African culture, for a woman to earn more than you, for a woman to own more property than you. So I think for some men, it rubs their ego the wrong way. And so they look at it in this envious manner. How can she earn more than me? How can she have more than me? So I must fight and make sure that whatever she earns is in my names and not necessarily her name.
And following Ndima's death, Halima has said there will be those in Uganda who are split on whether justice has truly been served.
Previously, it was, we received a statement from the Kenyan minister. I think it was Murkomen, Minister for Youth and Sports Affairs, who says we are going to make sure that, that Rebecca gets justice. But little did we know, while Rebecca's injuries, they say the acid burnt her, about 80% of her body was burnt. I think in the process of, pouring this acid on her, it also spilled on him. And so he was also nursing injuries. At the time, I think everyone was, clamoring for justice, making sure that even after he comes out of hospital, he faces the law. Unfortunately, now, we wake up to the news that he also has passed on from his injuries. So yes, definitely makes it very complicated. I guess for some people who probably say that's justice, but for others, I think they wanted the hands of the law to be the ones to serve this justice.
For the death of the perpetrator, I can say justice has been done. Why is that? Perhaps if he could have been alive and taken to court, perhaps the victim would not have gotten justice. Perhaps he would have raised money and get out of police cells and eventually out of jail. And at the end of it all, the victim would not have get justice.
I think most of the people are happy now that the gentleman has passed away. Yeah, but 100% are happy. Yeah, that it has become tit for tat.